What is up, New York Comic Con? I am so excited to be here to help bring in and host this Final Fantasy VII Rebirth panel. This game, this series of new games, but the original as well, are so important to me. Some of the most formative video games in my youth that have informed me as a human being, my nerddom, and put me here before you today. So I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for having me. I love you guys too. You're amazing. But sincerely, this is a special celebration. I'm excited to be a part of it here with you. And, well, there are a ton of extremely iconic characters in this game. Probably some of the most iconic in video game history. And we happen to have most of them here with us today on the panel. So to that point, are you all ready to meet the cast of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? I can do a little better than that. Are you ready to hear from the cast of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? That's more like it. Alrighty. Kicking this off here, we have the spiky-haired first-class soldier himself, the voice of Cloud Strife, Cody Christian! Following up here, we have Dad of the Century and leader of the Fantastic Group Avalanche, the voice of Barrett Wallace, John Eric Bentley! Coming up next, we have his right-hand gal, purveyor of the Seventh Heaven Bar. You love her, the voice of Tifa Lockhart, Britt Barrett! Next up, we have the delightful, quadrupedal, fire-tailed, wise old beast, the voice of Red 13, Max Middleman! And finally, the star of Final Fantasy VII Remake, Intrigrade, returning as a playable character in Rebirth. Keep an eye on your materia, might lose it real fast. The voice of Yuffie Kisaragi, Susie Young! Fantastic. Thank you all so much for joining us. Super excited. While we have you here, why don't we go down the line here, have you each kind of introduce yourself with a little maybe seldom known little fact about yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Cody Christian. I voice Cloud Strife. It is so amazing to be here and to be able to present this game with so many talented people. And this is honestly the first time I've had the chance to publicly do it. So, fun fact about me, this is #1, and I'm excited to be here with you guys.
Hey everybody. Hey everybody. Hey everybody. No. Hey everybody, I am John Eric Bentley, and I get to play one of the most iconic characters in my life, Barrett. And fun fact about me is that I am thrilled to be in New York City. The last time I was here, it was some crazy circumstances, so to be back here in front of so many cool fans is awesome. You don't know.
Hi guys, I'm Britt Barron, the voice of Tifa. I had prepared a more embarrassing fun fact, so I'm a little stunned by your lack of sharing information.
Can't share all that stuff yet.
But this is a small group, so it'll stay between us, I'm sure, right? Oh God. I wish. I still sleep with my baby blanket, and I'm a Bobo adult.
I'm not alone.
Are you serious?
No, no, no.
He is serious.
But that'll stay here, right? In this room.
In this room.
We're live?
Hi, everyone. I'm Max Middleman, the voice of Red 13, the Red of Voice 13. And fun fact about me, I am a published scientific journalist for my work in 2007 on the Drosophila Genome Project. It makes me sound like a mad scientist. In reality, I just pulled apart little fruit flies under a microscope. That's all I did. It was disgusting work, and I'm proud of it, very proud of it. Me and the other 250 people who did it as well, so yeah. Yeah.
And now look at you. Now you're a lab rat dog.
And now I'm a lab rat dog.
Woo! Hi, everyone. I am Susie Young, and I voice the single white rose of Wutai, the one and only Yuffie! Fun fact, I was here at New York Comic Con last year for a premiere of the show called Chainsaw Man. And now I'm here again, surprisingly, with this amazing, beautiful cast, and I'm so, so excited to be here. So thank you so much.
We're so happy to have you all here, but there is also someone else who wants to say hi, even though they couldn't join us here. If we can go ahead and start the video, if you don't mind.
Hello, New York Comic Con! Thank you
Breezy!
so much for joining us today to celebrate Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm Brianna White. I'm the English voice actress of Aerith in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I so wish I could be there to celebrate with you all today, but I hope you're having an amazing time. I've been told to give a short intro about myself with a few little fun facts. So the first is that I've been a gamer pretty much my whole life. I can remember when I was 3 years old, I would sit on my mom's lap and play King's Quest with her. So lending my voice to Aerith is the absolute and complete highlight of my life. Another little silly thing about me that you may not know is that I love pickles. I'm obsessed with them. They're my favorite food. And I was once given a blind taste test of all the 3 major brands, and I nailed it. So I'm a self-proclaimed aficionado. That's a little bit about me. I wish I could be there with you all today, but please enjoy this panel. Have the best time.
Thank you, Brianna. We miss you. Actually, so I don't feel so left out, I guess I'll intro myself as well. My name is Matthew Mercer. I mentioned I'm a voice actor. Happy to host this panel. A little known fact, some of you may or may not know, I did some background voices actually in Final Fantasy VII Remake, which was a huge honor. A number of characters, including one that was named in the script, I think Vigo, is like a wall market thug saying phrases in the background. So that's kind
I
of
remember that guy.
Yeah. No, you're the only one. No.
He probably killed him with the Buster Sword.
I probably had it coming. Actually, while I'm on that topic, let me also address some of these rumors on social media that I've seen out there. Some people have been making certain preconceived notions. I guess I'll go ahead and clear the air here. I am in the cast of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but I will not be returning as Vigo, the Wall Market Thug. I am happy to make it official that I am the voice of Vincent Valentine.
What? What?
Let's go!
Yeah! Oh, hell no! Y'all better get up! That's Vincent! That's huge! Come on, boy! Right?
Oh, it feels so good to get that off my chest. Oh my goodness.
It was Vincent's birthday yesterday.
I know!
Happy birthday, Vincent!
Happy birthday, you vampire!
Happy birthday to me. Man, I can't even express it. I need a full panel on its own to express how excited I am to be amongst all of this incredible group of people, be part of a game and a character that means so much to me. I had the opportunity when I found this out to reach out to my dear friend Steve Bloom, who had played him in previous games and projects. to both ask for his blessing and tell him how excited I was to bring that energy into this. And he was super excited and said there's nobody else who I'd rather have do it. And so this is a shout out to you, Steve, carrying that love into this project. And thank you all so much for being so welcoming, for making this little nerd boy's dream come true. Thank you. But enough about me. We're now going to go ahead and get this panel properly started. We're going to have a quick overview of what we're going to go over here for this event. We're going to begin with just a conversation about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and all of your roles in it, your experiences. Then we're going to go into some social media gathered questions from all of you folks in the community. Get your fantastic, well thought out, I'm sure, entirely prepared answers. I'm going to catch you all off guard, and it's going to be real embarrassing. I'm super excited for you. And then we have a mystery surprise at the end of this panel. So I guess we'll just have to hold on and see where that takes us. But that being the case, let's go ahead and kick off the panel discussion here with the rest of you fine folks. First off, I think this is a very important question. I think it's really on everyone's mind. How do y'all feel about Red 13 riding on a chocobo? Like, this is... I'm gonna go to Max for this one first. Max, how, like please, emotionally, psychologically, how does this sit with you?
It was really touching when I first saw the images of Red riding the chocobo. I didn't know when I was recording it, but I think when Susie actually sent me a screenshot for the first time, I shed a tear, and I couldn't have been prouder. I'm sorry. No, when Susie sent me the screenshot, my reaction was, ah! I had no idea that they were going to have Red riding a chocobo, and it's everything. I think the fans have been waiting 26 years for this moment right here. This is probably the crowning achievement of my entire career, so yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Hope to see how well he dances on the ship to Costa del Sol as well.
I can't wait for you to see.
How about the rest of you? Are you psychologically scarred? I mean,
How the hell is Red gonna ride on a chocobo? What's he gonna do with his tail? And is the tail gonna light the feathers on fire? That's all I'm saying. Have you thought about that?
You can see right there, he's keeping it away. He's careful. He's careful enough
and to see his little tail looks like they put a little tape on it or something. So
it's like a nitro boost.
I'm not letting you close to my tail.
Well, now that we've broken the case open with these deep-seated, emergent questions, this is for all the group here. We'll start over here with you, Cody. How did you prepare for your roles in Rebirth? Like both the experience and remake, but then also going into this whole new chapter where literally the world opens up before you and we get to explore more of them and their friendships. Like, what was your mentality going into it, and how did you really embrace this sequel?
Well, first and foremost, I'll go back to just prepping the remake, the first game. A lot of research, a lot of research. I had been familiar with Final Fantasy before. My brother was a super fan, so when I was able to break the news to him and share what was going on, he was bouncing through the walls, which is a very special moment. But he was the one that pointed me in the right direction and kind of really shared with me the importance of this game and the connection that the fan base has with it and the characters and how everything is so well thought out and honestly beautifully written. So I just dug deep, man, and I got sucked in and got very addicted, and it was a combination of both, I would say, passion and excitement, and also, fear. There's a lot of expectation, and there was a lot of pressure riding on this game, and more so, I think, me putting it on myself simply because I know what this means. I understand the significance to the fan base that has grown up around it. The first game was a lot of hard work and a lot of focus. When it came out and we saw the reaction and people didn't start rioting, I was able to finally take a exhale and begin to enjoy the moment. And I say that, and it's important because it really gave me the confidence to explore these avenues of storytelling that we go through with Cloud and Rebirth. So it finally put me in this place where I was enjoying the process. I felt like I belonged, and it gave me so much confidence in being able to perform. And I think we have a lot of really cool, juicy stuff in store for you guys, and you're gonna really, really love it. Yeah.
You nailed it. Moving on. Love it.
For me, it was really, really, really awesome. I got to play the game in '97 when it came out. my first RPG. I was excited. I'm like, wow, an RPG with a black character, and he's a leader. Oh, he's running Avalanche. Oh, this is great. Why is he shaking? Because he's mad all the time. And I was like, okay, this is great. This is awesome. So the history of it was really cool to me. Played it, finished it back in the day. And as far as the process, as far as getting into the character, a lot of throat lozenges. Because Barrett is very loud and very gruff, and a lot of the stuff is in his throat and his chest. But we had an excellent crew to help us with Justin and Kirk, our director, and our translators, Ben. We just had, it was a team. And then for me to actually say, hey, can I hear if someone did a line before that so I can hear what they did so I can make sure it's cohesive. It was really cool to be able to play off of Cloud, to be able to play off of my baby girl Tifa and Marlene, and and then finally with Yuffie, and then the banter between me and Red is just fun stuff, and of course Breezy. So it was a process that was welcomed. It was a challenge because we had to put the voice on top of what was already done in mocap, which was a really fun process. So that's me.
I think for me, it's just a lot of YouTube. So if anyone here has made YouTube videos about Final Fantasy VII, I've probably watched them. Because I needed a lot. I mean, I didn't play a ton of video games growing up, so I had a lot to catch up on stepping into this role. And I think for both games, I think what maybe is a surprise to some is that we really don't know much going into. Like, we don't get scripts ahead of time. I don't even know what I'm recording the day of. You kind of just show up and you're jumping from line to line in different scenes in different parts of the game. So it's really as you go, working with your director, it's kind of a slow process because you're getting, context for every single line. And I don't know, is it just that they don't trust us with information? But it is all top secret, even for us. So it's really a on-the-fly kind of job, which is fun. It's challenging.
But she crushed it.
So I always wanted a PlayStation growing up, and my parents refused to get me a PlayStation, and look where I am now. My favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy VIII, and it absolutely transported me when I was a kid, but because I didn't have a PlayStation, I was never able to play 7. And so one of my favorite things about 8 is the music. Music has always been my favorite part of any game or film. And when I was in middle school, here's a fun fact. When I was in middle school, we'd have like Walkman Day. For those of you who don't know what a Walkman is, it was a CD player, and you could bring it on like a Friday and play your music in recess. And I would bring my Final Fantasy disc and play my Final Fantasy VIII music. But when I booked the role, I consulted two of my very closest friends who were the two leads of Final Fantasy 15. One of those, that's Ray Chase and Robbie Damon. And And Ray Chase is a bit of an expert in all things Final Fantasy, and because I hadn't played this game, I had to consult and say, hey man, who is Red 13? Help. And he's like, he's one of the OG characters, he's one of the greatest of all time. And then I did a bunch of research, and I've lost the question. Was it how do I get into character? I don't remember anymore.
No, that you did it great, and it's unique. I love you.
Yes.
You're amazing.
Anyway, but the point about the music was that is how I get into character. I play the music beforehand, and that's how I get into character.
By the way, shout out to Amatsu-san, the amazing original composer of Final Fantasy VII.
Yes.
Uematsu-san is an
my
absolute
God.
genius. Just a genius. Yeah.
Unreal.
Susie.
If we're gonna go back to the beginning, like you did, my first introduction to Final Fantasy and games in general was Final Fantasy X, which is my favorite game of all time. Yeah, and I played it so much that my mom would see me playing on my PlayStation for hours and hours a day. And so any other game I would play, regardless if it was Final Fantasy or not, she'd be like, is that Final Fantasy? Are you playing Final Fantasy? I'd be playing Kingdom Hearts, and she's like, is that Final Fantasy? So, and when I called her to tell her that, hey, guess what? I'm playing Final Fantasy. But how I actually got into it, she's just a really bratty sister. I always wanted an older sibling growing up. I'm an only child. So I don't know, I guess I just channeled that brattiness I always had in me and manifested it into Yuffie. And she's just this wonderful being. And I remember first seeing her in Kingdom Hearts and Advent Children, and I was like, wow, she's a really cool character. I wonder who she is. And then so, I mean, the rest is history, and I got her, so.
I love that. Well, on the topic of recording, and also over here with you, Britt, if you want to jump in and try and make sure we're not doing the full line thing over here, have there been any memorable, unique moments during the recording processes, whether it be bloopers, odd encounters, fun moments in the script that kind of just stuck in your mind?
Well, I do think our audio engineer, Justin, did a blooper reel for the second game.
There is
right?
one that exists.
The world will never
I don't
see
think
it.
it can be released.
Oh, yeah. There are some sounds, definitely my stomach making certain noises at points. Tifa talks so quietly in a lot of those intimate moments, so I feel like the gain is so high. So anything I would do, he'd be like, but in terms of the second game, I did get to bring my dog to a recording, which was super fun. She was really well behaved, but she did snore and ruin a few takes. So that was our only snafu. But yeah, in terms of the second game, I mean, it's kind of hard because we're all alone. Like, I don't really get to see these guys, which is so strange unless we're doing events like this. But I hope in some worlds the blooper reel gets released for the second game. Because I want to hear yours, all of yours.
Oh, man.
Some swearing.
I'll tell you what one of mine is. Sometimes I warm up my voice in between takes just by going, ah! And so Justin's recorded that, and just at random times will play it for me throughout the session.
Yeah.
And I have like jump scares every time. Susie, you've got something.
I have something. Well, I mean, first of all, every session with Yuffie is an absolute delight. They put me in the evening sessions because she's so energetic and it keeps them awake. But one of them I distinctly remember was because I had a conversation with Max, and he was saying, like, he was telling me, oh man, like that one session that I had to do all these growls and like animalistic sounds that really tore up my throat. And, you know, Kirk kept like egging me on. He was like, you can do it, you can do it. And then I was like, really? Because like a lot of Yuffie's lines are very elevated. And so I would just project like, she'd just be talking like really excitedly. And then every few lines, Kirk would be like, oh, are you okay? Do you need to take a break? Like, are you sure? We can take a break. Like, I know you've been, it just hurts your throat. Like,
Meanwhile, I'm going for like 2 hours, and Kirk is like, come on, man, can you do a little more for us? Can you push a little harder? It sounds like you're kind of slacking a little bit.
yeah. So he treated me like a delicate little flower.
I'm going to have a discussion with Kirk after this.
Cody, John, you guys got anything?
Yeah, I got something.
Go for it.
It's from Remake. Are any people out there who haven't played it yet? Show a hand.
They not dare raise their hand.
Okay. I'm not gonna judge. I promise you, but I'm not.
He's gonna judge.
Spoiler away.
I saw
There isn't
one
a-
hand.
There, I saw like a few over
singular
here.
hand.
I promise you, I won't give a
Two.
spoiler away because that's not me. I didn't hear that, but much love to you, baby.
No worries.
So there was a scene that was very unexpected that happened in President's office that I wasn't prepared for. And I'm watching it first because I'm like, let me watch the scene so I can get it down. And I didn't look at the lines. I'm going, there's a lot of grunts, so okay. And I'm watching it happen. I'm going, oh no. Well, there goes my paycheck. And that threw me to a point where I was like, Kirk, Justin, I need to use the bathroom. And I look in the booth and Kirk's like, we didn't tell him that was coming. I'm like, yeah, I know where your car is, Kirk. But that threw me, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
That was a really good Kirk impression, by the way. That was good. That was really good.
I got Kirk and Justin.
That's great, man.
Sometimes I even get Cody, but I'm not going to do that because my man's right here.
I have a lot of funny things that happen in this game, in Rebirth. And I don't want to allude to too much because it does involve spoilers and things that occur within the game. But I will say this. There was a session that I had, and within the game, I feel like I'm safe to say this, something happens to Cloud, and let's say he just transforms into something outside of himself for a second. And yeah. And,
Too much, that's too much!
And I feel like I'm safe. And I had to do one of the craziest scenarios and speak a different language in many ways. And it was so funny that it took me probably 30, 40 minutes to get through this chunk of dialogue. And when you guys see what I'm saying and play it in the game, I feel like you're gonna laugh your ass off too, because it's ridiculous in the best way.
I'll actually give a quick anecdote too, because now I can, because I'm part of the cast now, which is fun. So when the audition came through for Vincent, it was like all of my energy went into this. I needed to do this. I think I asked for an internet spirit bomb on socials for it even. Like it was so important to me. And usually when you audition for things, you hear back often within a month or 3. This I didn't hear back for 9 months. And I just considered it the one that got away. Like every now and then I'd be driving and be like, it was so close. But some of the people in the production knew how much this meant to me, and they got me in to do some more background voices on Rebirth. I was like, hey, well, at least I get to be a part of this one too. Come into the session, they're like, we're gonna go ahead and put up a little camera. They just get sort of facial motion capture reference. I'm like, okay, and they had me read some lines. It was like Nibelheim Boy 3, and it's like, all right, so here's the Japanese ref. He's very young, and it was like 12 years old. I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. Like, just give it a shot. It's awful. I'm like super nervous, sweating in the booth. Like, why did they bring me in to embarrass me? And then suddenly the screen starts glitching out and there are pop-ups happening all across the script. And like, what is going on? Like, sorry, we're having a tech issue. And the screen goes to black. And then the little text bubble comes up that says, or how about you play a different character? And then Vincent's HUD-shot comes
awesome.
in.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
They pranked me
That's awesome.
to reveal it. And I will never let any of you see that video. It's super embarrassing. I was a mess.
I'm gonna ask Kirk for it.
I'll try to find it, guys.
Asking for
I
it.
got you.
Cody,
That's awesome.
Cody, you'll airdrop to that to me? You'll airdrop that to me? Yeah, cool.
I should have said nothing. Actually, and for each of you, because each journey is different, I'm curious, what was each of your independent journey to getting into voice acting? And from your journey, what you think is one little tip you could give to aspiring voice actors out there?
For
Are
me,
you looking at me?
I don't know, man. I'll jump off on this one. So this is my first real introduction to voice acting. I did some of it when I was a kid, but it was so little and insignificant that I wouldn't even really consider it as past work. So I'd say this is my first real thing. Again, I'm next to some like real professionals, and I'm humbled and grateful to be a part of it. Like veterans, really. I've learned so much from day one to where I'm sitting now. So as far as getting into it, I feel like others have so much more insight, but I will say this, is that voice acting, I've been doing on-camera stuff, film and TV. Voice acting has opened a whole new world of storytelling for me, and anybody that feels that itch of wanting to tell a story and wanting to connect through this format of art, I think voice acting is so worth pursuing. And I'll let the others who have actual insight and information maybe point you in the right direction. But I'm just so happy to be here and be a part of it. And again, I'll reiterate, I've learned so much from everybody, like for real. And I'm just humbled to be here. So I'm gonna let them handle that.
I met Cody and John for the first time yesterday, and I'm so happy I finally got to meet these guys. But I told Cody this, playing through the game and listening to his performance, I would not in a million years have guessed that this was his first voice acting gig. Not in a million years. He sounds so natural, so good, so multi-dimensional as the character. I absolutely love his performance. So you rocked it, man.
Thank
really
you so
rocked
much.
it. For me, my journey getting into it, every day for like 10 years, I would pray to my shrine of Matthew Mercer at home. Please, God Mercer, please. No, actually, so I was a pre-med student for 4 years, and then I switched to theater, and I was about to drop out of college. I called my parents. They were like, just change your major, stupid. And so I did, and I got my theater degree around the same time I got a voiceover agent. It happened to be the same agent as, well, I'll say this. For about 2 weeks, I went into the agency, and I was extremely nervous. I felt very out of place, like I shouldn't be there. And nobody said hi to me in 2 weeks. And there were like, I don't know, 50, 100 people who went through that office. Until one day, this gentleman sitting on the couch next to me said, "Hey, you're new here. I'm Matt. What's your name?" And that's this guy right here. He was the first person in the industry to welcome me. And I've never forgotten that. And I don't know if I've ever told him, but it meant so, so much to me.
Oh, buddy.
As far as tips, I would say voice acting is acting. So take acting classes. For me, my biggest tip is, this was what helped me the most, was mimic everything. Everyone, every character, everyone you know, come up with different characters, different voices. That's how you develop your repertoire of voices, is you've just got to like try stuff. One of my voices that I do often, I won't say which one of my voices came from a Vine star back in the day. And I just from me trying to mimic whatever he was doing. And now I use that for like a bunch of stuff. So yeah, start mimicking stuff.
How about you, Susie?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, that was so emotional. I'm still recovering.
Same.
Well, I never really had any acting background or any background in the entertainment industry. I was working at a 9-to-5 job. But then I had been working there for a while and I wasn't really feeling it. So, but the company started to let go of entire departments, and mine included. And it just so happened that at the time, my friend was visiting PAX East for some conference. We hadn't seen each other in like 10 years. And he was like, you know, I remember you really like video games and anime and stuff. Like, you know, I'm helping to run a studio. Would you like to audition for something? Just, you know, for the heck of it. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So I got into that project, so I had to like fly back and forth to Dallas to record it. And then at the time, once I finished it, as soon as I finished it, I was actually at the airport, and then I got a call from the CEO being like, "I'm sorry, you gotta go. You're fired." Which was fine. I was already kind of out the door anyway. But fast forward, I was like, you know what? I could either go back to a 9-to-5 job and feel kind of the same, or try out this voice acting thing that was really fun. It was a really fun experience for me. So I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. You know, I'm not employed right now, so I might as well give it a shot. So I did, and then as soon as I made that decision, COVID hit. So that was great timing. But long story short, my roommates at the time decided to move to LA, and I had to make a second decision if I was gonna move forward with that again, because LA is quite expensive, and I didn't really have a backup plan. So I was debating really hard back and forth, like, should I do this? Should I keep going? And I was really, really scared about the consequences, but I gave myself 6 months to succeed, to just do anything and maybe pick up from there. And the day after I arrived to LA, was the day I received the audition for Yuffie from Final Fantasy. And it literally changed my life. Like, without Yuffie, I probably would not be here. Like, in voice acting, period.
Was it 9 months, like Matt, that you from audition to
I
booking?
think they were on a deadline, so I think maybe 3 months max. But
They gave you the special 9-month
They
treatment.
did. Well, they knew apparently very quickly, but they were just sitting on it. For,
That was prank number
they
2.
wanted to torture you.
I think they're waiting for the lines to be ready, or they wanted to torture me.
I think mine was like I auditioned and then like same day I got the call.
Well, you know.
Oh, well.
Kidding, joking. But it was so late in the process. It was like everybody had already booked their characters, and then like towards the last 3-4 months of recording, I auditioned, and so they actually did have to like get me in very quickly to record the ending of the game.
Yeah, because you rounded out the entire game.
Yeah, yeah.
How about you, Britt and John?
Oh, well, dang it. I'm listening to the stories and going, wow. For me, when I was in college, I played football. And, you know, I went to theater. I got a scholarship to play football, then wound up getting another scholarship to go for my master's, and wanted a master's in theater. So, you know, I went to school for theater, but the football mentality was still like, well, you know, I'm going to go to class, but I'm going to go to the club because that's what we do. And I would go to the club, and we were just talking about this with somebody. I wouldn't just go to the club to go dance. I would go to the club, sit in the balcony, because I went to this guy's club who I adore and love, and basically came to Minneapolis to play ball to meet this cat, Prince. And I would go to his club, and got to meet him, and everybody else wound up dating a dancer, all this custom. Like, it was fun. It was a fun ride, right? But I would sit up in the balcony, I would watch people, you know, order a drink, or they would dance and this. And I would go to the club with my friends, my teammates or whatever, and I would say, look, this is how they sound. I'm going to do their voices. And I would do their voices and da-da-da-da, and then all of a sudden I found out there's teammates behind me, and then other people behind me, they go, hey, man, do it again. What about them? And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I think they sound like this. And then one of my frat brothers who played basketball and went on to go to the NBA, 2 of them, Walter Bond and Willie Burton, they're like, you know you can do this for a living. I'm like, what? They're like, you can do this for a living. I'm like, So I booked my first job in college. My professors got all upset. I'm not going to mention their names. But I booked this job, and I had to play off of a fake cartoon. So they would put up a cardboard thing on the desk, and I was supposed to be the artist that created him. Did that job, and was like, this is awesome. I'm okay, this is fun. And then I wound up coming out here, and we got a thing, and I'm like, this is great. So it's fun, and it's been like that ever since '97. But I will say this, as far as advice, you're right. Take a chance. Take a chance on you. You're right. Do everything, mimic everything. Get in front of a mirror. Find different characters. What do you think they sound like? Some of your favorite characters are anime, am I right? How would you do that character not knowing what the voice has already been cast as? Get in your head. And I'm going to do this because, and I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to do it. This is one of the most humblest dudes in the world. But you got to understand his work ethic. If you don't have a work ethic, you can have a drive. You can have as much drive as you want, but drive will sometimes make you do things that you don't want to compromise who you are in being, okay? But if you have a work ethic and a drive and a creative flow and a desire to do this and a deadline, I'm going to give myself this much time to do it. If you got a plan, go for it. I encourage you to go for it. There's so many different ways to do this. Voice 1, 2, 3. Hey, can I sit in the studio and watch? How does he sound when he does this? How does he sound when he does this? Go for it. Don't let anybody tell you you can't. Go for it. And then come up with these voices and have fun in doing it. Pursue it. I'm not saying quit your day jobs. Because beginning is like, man, I got $2. go for it and do it on the side and have fun doing it. And I encourage you to do it because we need more creatives. Everybody in this room came up for a reason. We're fanboys and fangirls. You know the process. You know what it's like. All you gotta do is figure out where you get in. All right, so I encourage you, go for it. Hope to be working with you in the booth one day.
Alrighty, I guess we're trying to move here on the time bits here to the community Q&A with the questions that were asked here. We're going to lightning round this one before we get to our surprise at the end of the panel. So to start with this, let's say, Britt, since you were up next anyway, what is it that you like the most about Tifa Lockhart as a character?
I mean, Tifa's truly incredible. I think that she's so dynamic, and I think my favorite part about her is her moral compass. No offense, Barrett, but I think that Tifa she's gone through so much trauma, and she is motivated by revenge and anger, which I think we all can identify with, but she still, despite that, is always the one to kind of step back and think first and question her morals and ethics in terms of what they're doing. And I love that about her. And I think that she puts her friends first. She's so caring. I think a therapist would tell her she needs to create some boundaries. And but I do love that about her. And I think voicing her is it's really the role of a lifetime, because I get to play these really intimate, emotional moments with Cloud, but then she's doing these like crazy, badass, heightened, high stakes screaming and fighting, and it's really the role of a lifetime. So I'm really so grateful.
I love that. We'll do a quick lightning round on this next question down the row, starting with, we'll start with you, Cody. I know, we're mixing it up. Do you have a warm-up routine before recording?
Oh yeah, that's an easy one. Just a whole pack of cigarettes, a couple shots of whiskey. Does the trick. Please don't take that seriously.
No.
I mean, nothing crazy. The la-la-las and a lot of vocal exercises, drink some hot tea, and wing it.
Love it. What about you, John?
Same thing. A lot of hot tea, a lot of throat lozenges before and after, and go in and think like a dad, think like a leader, and think with, love for the planet.
I love it.
Can't you hear it screaming?
A lot of vocal exercises. I learned like early high school theater that I'm still doing in the car, lots of like, what to do to die today at a minute to do, I think distinctly, a lot of like tongue twisters so that your mouth is warm. People next to me at traffic are probably like, what the?
I get on all fours, I howl at the moon. And then as I'm driving to studio, I sing so loudly in the car.
I asked the studio to schedule me in the afternoons, past 2 p.m. after I'm awake.
That's valid.
Fair.
Yeah, you say singing, and I have playlists for different character vocal timbres, and so if it's like a very smooth, high voice, kind of younger character, I'll sing in that realm to kind of get myself in the mood. If it's like a deeper, guttural, bestial thing, then it's like all death metal. Go to this next question here for Cody. Just listening to your voice work, you were able to express Cloud's personality in a way we've never really seen before. What side of Cloud do you enjoy voicing the most?
I think Cloud is such a goofball at the end of the day, right? And that's something that I love about it, the duality and the emotional depth that he has. I don't think anybody is one thing all the time. There's an internal conflict going on with Cloud of this resisting, this innocence and this warmness that he has and tenderness that he has. And then it's constantly fighting with, him being guarded and him being stoic and him dealing with all the past traumas that he's dealt with. But my favorite part about it is when he can be kind of goofy, kind of corny, and we see that side of him. Also the vulnerability. I think there's a beautiful, vulnerable side of Cloud that didn't get to come out a whole lot in the first game, but we definitely explore it here in the second one. And I think people are going to like it.
And I think it's time for us to get to our mystery event here for the panel. Fun little surprise. I hope you're all excited about it. All the way from Japan, we have a very special guest. Will you please bring to the stage Naoki Hamaguchi, the director of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah!
Joined by his translator, Hinano.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. It's a huge honor for all of us to have you. We're so excited for the work you're doing on this project. Unfortunately, producer Katase-san could not be here today, but we do have a special video message from him for all of you, directly from Japan. If we can go ahead and play that for us.
皆さんこんにちは。プロデューサーの北瀬です。本作を彩る素晴らしい声優さんたちによるパネルをお楽しみいただけているでしょうか。本来ならば浜口と一緒にニューヨークにお伺いする予定だったのですが、行けずに残念でなりません。皆さんと一緒にパネルを楽しむことができないのですが、本日は日本から映像で楽しみたいと思っています。ファイナルファンタジー7リバースはミッドガルを脱出して、いよいよ広大なワールドマップの探索へと繰り出します。心に残るキャラクターたちと共に忘れられない体験を皆さんに提供したいと思いますのでお楽しみください。それでは皆さんパネルを引き続きお楽しみください。ありがとうございました。
Yeah!
Thank you very much, Katase-san. Now, to you, Hamaguchi. We talked about this earlier, our opinions, our reactions, but now we get to go directly to the source. What was your internal development process in getting Red 13 onto a chocobo? What was it that inspired you and got you to that final finish line?
はい、先ほども少しお話ししましたが、とてもお聞きしたいことがあります。レッド13についてですが、どのようにチョコボに乗るか、今回チームはどのように決めたのでしょうか。そしてその会話はどのようなものだったのでしょうか。
レッド13をどう載せるかっていうのは確かにチームでもディスカッションしていました。で、担当のデザイナーが実際に載せたデータを作ってきたらですね、非常に可愛くてですね、これはぜひ採用したいなと思って、クリエイティブディレクターの野村にも確認したらもう即 OK で、このようになりました。もう一個は、あと今回チョコボって空を飛ぶチョコボもいるんですけど、そうするとレッドさんって空飛べないじゃないですか。尻尾ぐるぐる回してヘリコプターに飛ぶわけにもいかないんで、なので今回はこのようにしたんですけど、どうですかね、それで。
So there was a bit of a debate among the team about this topic, and so one of the designers had gone ahead and created a file of Red 13 riding a chocobo, and this was just so adorable that we just had to take it to our creative director, Nomura-san, and he reviewed it and just immediately said yes. So we went ahead, there's more. We went ahead with that, and so in Rebirth, we actually also have flying chocobos too, but I don't know if everyone wants to see Red 13 flying around the sky with his tail spinning around like a helicopter.
That's amazing. Yeah. Now, actually, I'm gonna kind of jump in here and do a question selfishly for me regarding Vincent. Now, in the original game, he was an optional character, technically. But, you recruited him, right?
Right.
I recruited him. We all recruited him. Why was he optional to begin with?
原作の「ファイナルファンタジー7」でヴィンセントは任意加入キャラでしたが、そもそもどうして彼は任意加入キャラだったのでしょうか。
当時私もまさに一ユーザーだったので、原作がなぜか私もわからないんですけど、今作のリバースではヴィンセントに関しては必須キャラにしています。なぜだかまたわかりますか？
So, I actually have the same question. I was a player at the time the original title came out, so I'd like to know why too. But I can say that for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, he is going to join your team no matter what.
That's all I wanted.
I'm sure that you know why we had to do that, right, Matt?
I'm very thankful. Actually, and to that point, just while I got you in the hot seat, there's too much power here, and I'm enjoying it. If you, the director of this project, had to choose between recruiting Yuffie or Vincent, which would you pick?
今回ディレクターとしてヴィンセントかユフィどちらかを仲間にできるとしたらどちらを選びますか？
いや、スージーのユフィもヴィンセントのマットも両方とも大好きだし、やっぱ2人いるのにちょっと選ばせるのはちょっと若干残酷じゃないですか。私2人に関わらず全キャラクター皆さんも含めても大好きです。I love you です。
I mean, with Susie as Yuffie right here and you, Matt, as Vincent right here, I really cannot answer this question. I really love all of the characters that are involved in FF7, along with those two. So that's my answer.
How very politically even.
I'll just have to fight you for it in the game.
Try me.
Bring it on, old man.
Look, everyone needs a good nap every now and then. And I'm here. I'm asking another personal question. So, Kitase-san, who has been the director of so many incredible games, Final Fantasy VI, 7, Chrono Trigger. Thank you. You grew up with a lot of these games too, if I recall, and inspired you to become a game developer. What is it like to now technically be his boss?
北瀬さんは今まで数々の作品に関わっておりご自身にとてもインスピレーションを与えている人だとお聞きしており今彼にとって浜口さんはちょっと上司的な関係になっているかと思いますがそれはどのような感じでしょうか？
そうです。本当に彼がディレクションしたゲームっていうのを私は子供の頃にプレイしてやっぱその影響を受けてやっぱ私も自身もゲームのクリエイターになってもう今この場にいると思っているので本当に彼自身をものすごく私の中でリスペクトしています。ただそれと同時に今はやっぱり同じ作品を作る同士なのでやっぱ時には私が厳しいことも言うし彼も厳しいことを言うようなそういう仲ですかね。
Yes, so the works directed by Kitase-san definitely had this major impact on me back when I was playing these games in junior high school. So I deeply respect him very much in this way. And now here we are, being creators and colleagues at this job of creating. And with that, sometimes I'll say some harsh things to him, and he'll say some harsh things back at me. But looking back at it all, I really think it was quite fateful that we would work together.
Thank you.
I love that. And to round off this wonderful interpersonal Q&A that we all get to just focus and drive our energy towards you, there are many wonderful reveals in the recent trailer. I like to think that Vincent was one of them. But the real star of that trailer would have to be the Segway. What was the impetus, the inspiration for this particular vehicle choice alongside things like the tiny Bronco and the Highwind? Why is the Segway so important?
特に気になっているトレーラーの中の真のスターであるセグウェイのような乗り物についてですがこれについて少し教えてください。
このゲームはさっきにもチョコボ出ましたけど、結構ワールドマップの探索にはチョコボを使うんですよ。なのでせっかくこうリゾート地に行ったのに、なんかその中でチョコボに乗りたくないじゃないですか。なので何かこうリゾートっぽいこう開放感のあるような乗り物がないかなっていう時に、まさにセグウェイのような我々ウィリーって呼んでるんですけど、っていう乗り物にたどり着いたっていう、やっぱりこのゲームってやっぱりこうシリアスとコミカルがこう混ざっているのがこう非常に好まれるので、まさにクラウドがこうウィリーに乗っているこうものは非常にこう皆さんに注目されて非常に嬉しかったです。
Yes. So, in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, you may be spending a lot of time adventuring through the world map on a chocobo, but thinking about Costa del Sol, which is a resort town, it may be a little odd or, cumbersome to be on the chocobo, and I really want people to have, fun navigating around this place. So I was like, what's a new and exciting way to get around this place? And I thought, this two-wheeled Segway-like vehicle had come to mind. And of course, throughout the Final Fantasy series, we just have, this theme of sort of having a serious undertone with these very comical elements interspersed throughout. And, this sight of Cloud riding it is just really funny. And I'm happy that this vehicle is getting noticed.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, friends, it looks like we are just about out of time for this panel. Before we finish up, though, I want to ask Hamaguchi-san and the rest of the panel here, are there any final thoughts that you want to leave the wonderful audience, both here and at home, with? Anyone?
We love you too, man. Real shit. We love you too, man.
You guys are going to be absolutely blown away by this game. It is so expansive. It is so amazing. Now that you get to get out of Midgar and explore the world, it's going to be so incredible. I think you guys are going to absolutely fall in love with it.
Visually, audibly, play-wise, team attacks. You guys are gonna have a blast. I tell everyone, I hope you record your reactions and put them on social media so we can see them, because it would be a joy for us to see you guys having a great time playing this one.
I'm just so happy for all of us to be together and all of us to finally meet in this game.
And thank you guys all for coming. This is it's not easy to get.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. Truly.
I would love to chime in and I think I speak for all of us and say, we really wouldn't be in this position. We wouldn't be able to make this game. We wouldn't be able to tell these stories without you guys, without the support and the genuine love that you provide. So as much as this is from you, thank us for being here. No, the reality is thank you guys for being here and thank you for supporting Final Fantasy. And this new game, I'm gonna say it like this, it's a hell of a ride, so strap in.
Hamaguchi-san.
そうですね、今日はもうこんな豪勢な声優の皆さんと、またコミコンにこのパネルに参加してくださった皆さんと非常に楽しい時間を過ごせて本当に光栄です。またファイナルファンタジー7リバースは2月29日発売です。まさかと思いますけど、皆さん予約してない人いないですよね。皆さん一緒に盛り上げていきましょう。Thank you.
It's an absolute honor to be here at Comic-Con today with you all, with the greatest voice actor and everyone on the panel here today. I had so much fun. And Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will be released on February 29th. And I don't think there's anyone out here who hasn't pre-ordered it yet, right? Please look forward to it. Let's make it a great game. Thank you so much.
Thank you. One final round of applause for the amazing voice cast of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the game director, Hamaguchi-san. Thank you all so much for coming here.